Awareness Podcast, a place where we collect stories and circulate life-changing wisdom. I am your host, Asher, and today my guest is Kingsley, the
Hello.
lady that paint the world purple when she can. And we get to talk about the theme of today, which is around needs. What you need to think, do, or feel. That's not happening for you. The big dream, whatever that dream is, we get to talk about. But I'm curious about Kingsley's dream. So we're gonna talk about that today. And Kings, if you don't mind telling us where you're hailing from, what you specialize in, who you being a hero to, and how you adding value to the world.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm a brand agency owner by day and an indie pop artist by night. So
Mm.
I special in a lot of stuff. I think I call myself like a multi-hyphenate creative because, I do anything from like posing and styling models or sets or writing music or performing music. Or coaching, or just building websites, right, for branding and building logos. What I've learned is my why helps me navigate in all of these things. People would be like, that's so much. I don't know how you can wrap your head around it. But
Mm-hmm.
my why, which we just figured out a week ago with my life coach, who's amazing, is I have the ability to help people dream bigger and be their most authentic self. But I don't just help them dream it, I help them live it. Because it's one thing to dream it, but it's another thing to have someone inspire you to actually do it in real time. And that's my why. And the hero, who am I a hero to? Honestly, myself, right now, I'm going through a lot of changes with my business and who I am. And I think knowing that I dreamed to be this far and can dream even farther is really saving me. So I'm a hero to myself.
Mm. Well, the self thank you right now for being a hero to her. I'm curious about. I'm gonna start with Kingsley, by the way. Like, how did you birth that name?
Yeah, so I was supposed to technically be born a boy. So in the 90s when ultrasounds were happening, I guess I had my hands down below and they're like, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy.
Mm.
So they bought boy clothes. My dad was so proud. It's finally his first boy because I have an older sister. And so when I was born, they're like, it's a girl. And my dad was like, no, I've already prepared this. It's literally a boy. And so my doctor kind of was like, oh, well, you could do like, Dominique and Monique. And my dad was like, I will not call her Monique. I will call her Mo. And so I have like no attachment or identity to my name because it's not even a name that like feels like me. So Mo is my nickname. Monique is my government name. And I'm not attached to either of those. They don't even. So when I told my mom I wanted to be a singer, she was like, "You don't have to be yourself. You can pick a name." So I went down to her computer and I literally like searched a bunch of names, girl names, and none of them worked. And I remember typing in like boy names and boy Hawaiian names came up and the name Kingsley popped up. And it literally is like this thing of like, on the musical Chicago where the name's like Roxy. It literally felt like that. Like I heard people go Kingsley. And I wrote it down and I was like, this is it. This is amazing. This is who I am. And that was 12 and I'm 31. It has not changed, right? That's who I was and who I always feel like I was meant to be.
Mm. So what big dreams do you have of Kingsley?
Oh my gosh, change maker of the world. And I mean like mass global change maker of like teaching yourself that like you get to decide, especially like black and brown girls. It took me a long time to grasp what blackness was for me, especially like being from America. You kind of get told what blackness is. And if you don't
Mm.
fit that mold, it's like this outcast identity crisis. And so through my art, and through my own self-discovery and through my own synergistic spiritual experience, I hope to, on a global scale, teach people to vibrate with whatever makes them happy and let that be who they are and nobody else tell them any different.
Mm. And I love your energy, by the way. It is contagious like a virus. I'm getting chill right now. I'm like, yeah, let's go rock
That's
this.
good. I hope to give
Mm.
space for that. I want it to be
Mm.
contagious.
So okay, so so this big dream you have, and kings do want to impact the world. Okay. And if she's impacting the world and she's impacting you, say you like to, touch those little brown folks, the melanated folks like you and I right now, that doesn't dream as big as they could dream. And I recognize this when I was talking to people a lot. I'm like, this is my saying. I say, make the dream unrealistic, unreasonable, but make the step reasonable or realistic. But still make that dream massive. Because I think when you have a big dream that encompasses so much, then you can connect to a lot of people because somewhere, somehow their dreams can fit into yours, or you can connect around both dreams because they're so big. And
Yeah.
I recognize also I have big dreams. So I have big dreams.
I would even say the step could start reasonable, but it should never be, right? Because if that's
Hmm.
the point of it, like I had to stop telling, I don't have the no complex. I walk outside and I tell myself yes. Sometimes it doesn't work and people tell me no, but for the most part, I would say like
Hmm.
90% of my life, I get a yes. For example, I was in the store, I only had $20 and I like jokingly was like, "Oh my God, it's 21.50. I literally only brought $20." But I was on the phone telling my best friend, and the store guy was like, "Don't worry about it." When does
Mm.
that happen to people, right? I don't ever tell myself no. Like he could have been like, okay, we'll take something off or use Apple Pay. I just was like, oh no, this thing happened. And so like the more you get out of this like box version of realistic things, the better it is. And it's a freaking hard transition, especially as a Black woman in America, right? There are
Hmm.
a lot of no's, there's a lot of examples and systematics, and I'm still struggling with letting all that go. But I feel like the more you cross over to like nothing is impossible, the
Hmm.
easier it gets to doing those dreams because you won't wake up and be like, okay, here we
Hmm.
go. It will be like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen today. Let's
Hmm.
play in the unknown. Let's play in like, can I do this? Can I be, can it, whatever, and have a good time with it. That's what's taken me a long time because being very limited in your thoughts, but your dream is very um,
Hmm.
unrealistic, those don't quantify. And you will tell yourself every day why it cannot be because you'll be like, well, I'm dreaming of this, but I'm seeing this. And that's where I
Hmm.
was, right? I'm dreaming of being in the entertainment industry, but I know you have to have money, or you have to sleep your way to the top, or you have to have, parents who did it before you, right? Those are true facts. Are there
Hmm.
people who did it outside of that? No, maybe, maybe. Can I be the first? Let's play in
Hmm.
this space,
Hmm.
right?
Can
It
you
gets
be
a
the
little crazy.
first? Hmm. No, that's interesting. Oh my God. Hmm. I want to challenge you with something here a bit.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So you mentioned system. I want to see make sure this resonate with people. You mentioned system being in America and the system piece. And when people think about system, a lot of people don't understand what a system is. Like a system is laws, is rules, is principles, is values. And then people uphold those principles, laws, and values. And then when you look at the system, like, okay, so the system is designed to disadvantage me, but make an advantage to you. Or it's designed to benefit you, not benefit me. So the values in the system benefits you, but doesn't benefit me. And when we in America, people don't understand how that system is oppressing other people because it wasn't built or designed to benefit me, but benefit somebody else. So when somebody said the system is holding you back, a system is preventing me, what we're talking about is laws, rules, and principles and values and so forth and so that's set up to disempower other people and empower other people. So being in America, you recognize that. I know you see you a traveling person, you're digital nomad right now. But what have you learned so far that made you see the system the way the system is designed right now in America?
Well, my last name's Lincoln, right? So that's the 16th president. So that alone is the system in itself, right? I know I come from slaves and I know I come from a president. Like I know I don't know anything about my ancestry line. I know where my history starts, was just pretty much here. And so that started the journey of the system, the identity of self, the identity of blackness, the identity of ancestry, the question of why? Why? Why do I feel like this? Why am I told this? Right. And in I think systems are really beautiful because they tell you you can do one of two things. You can play the game and try to win, or you can create your own game, which both are equally as hard. And at first, I started doing the first one, right? You go and you get the corporate job and you get the nice house and you get the partner and you're going to be engaged. And then those systems don't work out for you because you're like, I feel unhappy. Now
Mm,
you're having a conundrum in life.
mm,
Okay. Then you travel the world and you're like, well, what is the meaningness of happiness? What brings me joy? Well, what do I actually care about? And then you come back to the system that you no longer understand how to operate in, and you have a choice to make. Do you want to stay in it and try to create your own happiness in it, or do you want to completely make your own? And both are really incredibly hard to do. And I'm at the part where I don't enjoy this system. I'm going to make my own. And I'm going to excel at making my own because I don't care about the rules anymore. So play ball.
mm. I think that's where a lot of the Gen Z and the folks are at today in the world. They're like, listen, like we know this system is in here to benefit us. Like we know we can see it clear as day. We can see it. So now what do? Learn
Yeah.
the rules and break them,
Well, they're
right?
unhappy sooner, right? So like we
Hmm.
were sold on a dream. When you get to college, you finish it, you get a degree. They
Hmm.
see that that's not true. We had to go through it. They're like, "Oh, you don't have a degree? What am
Yeah,
I?" Right?
yeah.
They're seeing in real time we were the real change, right? All the millennials were the final version of the American dream that they could impose on us.
Mm.
The final. Now they're like, oh no, none of the picket fence doesn't make you happy. The marriage doesn't make you happy. The having to work your way for hundreds of years to try to get Social Security doesn't make you happy. The question,
Hundred, it's like hundred of years now, right?
well, yeah, they changed it. You cannot, retirement used to be 60, now it's 81. That's insane. Who's working till 81? Are you kidding me?
Oh
Right?
my
And
God.
these kids
Is it
are
80
nice
or
thinking
70?
like it used to be 60, then it was 70 and early two. It's literally they've jumped it. We can look right now to see what the
Mm.
average.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it recently, but I heard somebody was talking about it, man. They raised the age
Oh, it's
again.
high.
That was like, what? Back there? You can go to 65 and retire? No,
Oh
no.
Lord, yeah.
So we think
Changing to
about
70.
is 70?
It says it's changing to 70 2024 with room to grow.
Oh my
Duh.
God.
With room to
Yeah,
grow. What a thing to say. Duh.
room to grow. So literally it's like, no, it's not for you. It's nobody get that you want to go get that permanent vacation, but it's not happening. That
Yeah,
permanent vacation is not happening. Like you
it's
can't
not.
retire.
And
No.
they know that. And I think that's the cool thing. I love systems. I think they're really important. I was
Mhm.
just talking about this to a friend about intersectionalities and like intersectionalities are so cool because we love to put things in categories. I think it's important. But once you decide what the categories are, how can you use
Mhm.
them to your benefit, right? You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And they're like, what? You don't have to. I could stand up and do this podcast recording standing on a chair. There are no rules. Nobody's going to be like, get off that chair, you know? So I
Mhm.
start breaking those systems. Like, you don't have to do this thing. You don't have to do that. Well, then what? Oh, right. Well, now it's
Mhm.
the morals in yourself. Why are you feeling guilt for not this? Why are you feeling anxiety because you're not doing this? Who created that? Why are you still living off it? Ooh, then it gets fun.
What is your rules for life now?
Oh gosh. My rules for life. What are your rules for life? Give me something to bounce off of.
Mm.
It's a tough question.
Well, here's the rules. I have one where I said I'm gonna never change who you are,
Mm,
change and improve what you have. That's one of my rules. Um, treat every person you meet like the most important person in the world. That's one of my other rules. Um, everything everyone knows they've learned. So that doesn't mean you can't learn it too. So stuff like that, I kind of break down for myself. So I
like that.
operate on certain kind of rules that just help me to figure out life a certain way, and I operate a certain way under those rules. And I don't let people kind of like really, really throw me off my axis because I'm setting those things. I'm gonna operate on those rules, and then see how that rules benefit me. Because I can measure my gains based on the rules that I've set for myself. Because I know I'm following the rule. Because if you can't really go back and measure things and track it, then you can't really tell if you make any progress or if you're making any change in your life because everything is just so scattered. But I
Yeah,
start organizing certain things and operate by certain rules, create my own system,
yeah.
my own set of
Create
principles, and
your
then I
own
go from there.
system.
So yeah.
Yeah, systems are good. I
Hmm.
think mine is to never let someone dim my light. I spent,
Hmm.
your early 20s in corporate and you're being all of these versions of yourself. And so I don't let any person tell me where they think I should be or make them more comfortable to be around my presence. I'm very loud, I'm very bold, I'm very confident in myself. I always have my shoulders back. And I don't curdle myself anymore like I used to. I truly believe just standing in my truth. And that's probably one of my biggest rules, just to stand in
Hmm.
my truth. Even when it's hard or it hurts or someone you love doesn't like it, I always stand in my truth.
Hmm. That's powerful. Stand in your truth. Because then when you stand in your truth, you can tell who's punching at you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
can.
if you don't have any base, then you don't know who's hitting at you. So it's always good to so you like I said, system is important, but it's all about is that system benefiting you or it's not. And a lot
Yeah,
of time we don't recognize that we're running blind. Like I don't see. Yeah, man. If you understand when somebody says, here's somebody a black person saying, "Hey, man, the system is oppressing me a certain way." What they're talking about? They've created certain rules and
yeah.
laws that benefit some people and don't benefit other people. So when they're saying that you're a person that act like you don't see, don't like I don't see color. Yes, you do. Because
Well,
if you
you
can,
don't want to not get the benefit. That's why you're not to see
you're
it.
benefiting from the system, right?
Yeah.
You benefit from the rules and the laws that's created, right? You're getting value from it, but other people aren't. When people are saying it doesn't benefit, it's not adding value to my life, they're speaking the truth because it's not. And if you was in their position where the rules are designed for them and not for you, you're like, okay, well, we got to do something about this because this
Would
rule,
you That's the question. So they often
Mhm.
talk about like when you reach X amount of things like
Mhm.
black billionaires, are they making real changes or have they crossed over that, they no longer have to play by the rules? Why would they ever go back, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
that is
like
true.
the question, like, do people really want equality or do they not want to be oppressed? Those
Mm,
are two very different things.
interesting.
And
Because
so yeah, when I was in London, I met this incredible poet, Yumi, and he had this program called Radical Empathy.
mm,
And it taught like what true empathy looks like and how to hold space for it. And it absolutely blew my mind because I think I'm a pretty empathetic person. But like
mhm,
radical empathy means to dig deep down and look at yourself in every single space and hold space to navigate that.
mm,
So even when you're on the proxy to change something, are you including every single possibility for oppression to
mm,
exist? That's tough.
mm. That's powerful too, man. There's some there's some deep people out there too. I love just connecting people that are very deep. Because when you're very deep, that means you're a person that sit there and you peel back layers after layers, and you can start seeing things that people are like, ah, blind to it. Yeah, because you're not really thinking about your own thinking, or you're thinking cycle about certain things and realize that the way I think about things is not empowering. Like I'm blind, I'm keep blinding myself the more I think the same way I'm thinking, and act like you don't see it. Because you're so afraid if you actually look at it for real, you gotta do something about it, so you don't want to see it.
Or you don't have the ability to see it. I was just talking about like I love Sexy Red. I think she's an incredible artist, but they've been campaigning her to do elementary school tours, and her
Mm,
music is not elementary school music. It's very much. And so it's so difficult because if you are in elementary and that song is what liberates you into your middle school, your sexual, understanding of life into high school, what person shall you become if that's the only lens of blackness and black liberation that you've gotten? Right. And
mm,
so no one, no youth is at fault for Sexy Red being their introduction into empowerment
mm,
and really taking back who you are and not letting anyone fuck with you, right? No one is wrong with that. But if this is the only lens our system allows you to see, then what?
mm,
Then who are you? Then what do you become? Right? And that's the sentence of like ignorance is bliss, right?
mm,
It is bliss because if you only know that, how could you miss out on anything else?
mm. Well, I love ignorance. And the reason why I say I love ignorance because I mean it's the place of the unknown, and it's an opportunity for me to know more. So if we eliminate ignorance, then we just know everything, and who wants to know that?
Yeah, but if you choose to know more, if you
Mm,
choose to know more,
mm,
that is not an ignorant mind. That is not, that's a stupid mind being like, there has to be better for me. That's not an ignorant mind. It's like Plato's allegory, right? They're all in the cave. They're all trying to figure out where to go. One person leaves, doesn't get blinded by the sun, breathes the air, comes back and is like, you guys, and everyone's like, nah, hell no. I'm in here. I ain't doing that. Right?
mm.
That's switching from ignorance to stupidity, right? If someone's telling you come with me and you will be, and you're like nah 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 nah, well now you're
Mm.
not ignorant anymore, you're stupid because someone has told you, hey, that was actually a lie and I just did it, and then you stay here.
Let's talk about lies.
Oh,
I'm
you
a
have my
rap. I'm a rap with you
you
today,
have my
Kingsley.
ex on the phone. Just
Mm.
kidding.
I'm a talk. Yeah, because I think I'm writing some stuff about what I'm focused on. Some other writing is about the African giants that we don't hear about a lot. A lot of African giants, a lot of folks have made a major impact that we don't talk about much. And we hear a lot about this Plato and Socrates and all these guys, but they got the knowledge from us. But a lot of people they don't want to admit that. They don't want to like, yeah, the stuff, yeah, they got the knowledge from us. But then folks not choose not to like, oh yeah, not to recognize it. But I recognize there's a lot of giants in our time that don't get talked about, and my goal is right now to start really do some research, and go back, find those, and start telling those story. And we need to hard tell those story because we have people that like there's something about seeing somebody that look like you does something great. It expands your dream, expands your own capability, it expands your self-esteem, it expands your self-confidence. All of those stuff works because what? We're looking at like a baby looking at a parent. Like, well, let's see what my parent did. They did great. Okay, I can go and strive for great too. But if you don't see that, and especially if the identity doesn't look like you, hmm, that affects you a certain way. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think it's for the first time ever, I see myself on the internet and I absolutely love what I see back.
Mm,
Um, I think representation definitely matters, but I think the question where you're saying like they know that they've got it from us, but they're not admitting it. I was just talking to the friend about this, how they like Jesus, they showed the black version of Jesus, Russia or Putin put it up. And that doesn't dissolve the questions of like, if you now know Jesus is black,
mm,
doesn't that make his mom black? How different would you treat black women now that you know your savior's birth mother is me? How
mm,
different would you treat it? This is the question, right? Then you have to reflect on what you see or hate about a black woman. Because if
mm,
that's your savior, this is your Christ, and that
mm,
is his mother. Well, this changes everything, right?
mm,
So if I now know Plato's allegory was taken from this person, how
mm,
does that change how I feel about the people that look like this?
mm,
That's the game that we're playing, right? In order for me to love more and grow more, I respect everyone's journey and how they figure out how they came to be, right? My last name's Lincoln. I'm supposed to come from slaves. The more I learn about America, and we can go into conspiracy theory about Tamari and the Moors and who came first, the more that I learn, the more that I realize I am source. And if I say it, it shall be.
mm,
Literally, if I decide to wear my hair like this on TikTok tomorrow, there will be 6 million white girls doing it, right? I'm the trendsetter. I am the leader. That's
mm,
great power to hold. So if I know I have that much power, how much truth will I speak? How good will
mm,
I be? How amazing will I be? That's
mm,
where I hope people get. I don't think it's just about being represented. I think it's showing them that like with great power comes great influence. And how are you going to influence the world to be the greatest place it could actually be?
mm. Power to you, Kingsley. Oh, really, power to you. I think this generation need to recognize that most of the trend that we see that's trending, oftentimes it's pointed towards source, us, right? The booty and the chest and the lips and the whatever and the tan and whatever you want to call it, right? It's always going back to like like the melanated folks. And once you recognize, understand it, okay, so I should just love myself now even more.
Yeah.
Because even though people don't admit that they want to be like us, they do.
But I think that's like we've been lost from each person has lost identity of source, right? If you knew that you came from me and I love me, wouldn't you love you? Do you get what I'm
Mm,
saying? We all have been lost from source,
mm,
everyone. And so the
mm,
closer I get to source myself, the more
mm.
everyone around me gets closer to themselves. And
Yeah,
so
and there's
that's the difference between the radical empathy. When I liberate myself, I'm liberating myself radically. I'm not looking at me being like, I'm mother, I'm God, now what? I'm looking
mm.
like I found the God in me. I want you to find the God in you.
Oh, because we just God speaking to God. I say this all the time, sometime privately, but I can say it publicly now because I'm just getting better at speaking up loud. But it's the idea that if you think about it with like just think about it, the only thing that exists is God. There's nothing else can exist but God, right? Like how can you be God and if something else exists but you? Right? It doesn't make any sense, right? If you're the Almighty God, what will you let anything else exist but you? It's only God that exists. So if God is the only thing that exists, then well, who am I? I'm an ingredient of the God that exists
Yeah.
because only God exists. But people don't see that. They're like, yeah, looking at it. Well, you can look at it different ways, but in the end, you gotta recognize what it is. It's just another
We've
manifestation
been,
of,
I think we've been
yeah.
privy to not. This is the age of Aquarius, and so like I have a lot of patience with everyone's journey of how they get to
Hmm.
be, and like these are the different levels in life that you get to go through, and whatever every time you come back, you get to learn more and more,
Hmm.
and like we've really been fucked up, right? They poison the food, they poison the water, they take the drink. So like all the people that are getting to this salvation, I hope that you hold yourself and give yourself more grace because getting out of the matrix or just like finally seeing things as it can be perceived and choosing to perceive better is really freaking hard. It's hard. It's hard
Hmm.
to do. There's wars, there's genocides, you're going through your own trauma. It's really fucking
Hmm.
hard. And so I don't think it's anyone's fault as the system that has been put upon us at this very moment. I think it's just our undivine duty to keep going higher and higher because the higher you raise your frequency, the higher you raise the world. And it is so hard to keep your frequency up. And so each day that you do it, you prove that you can break the system.
Hmm. No, being somebody that narrowed down your life to two suitcases.
Three.
Three. Okay,
Like
three.
carry
Two
on and
suitcases and a
check
backpack. Okay.
bag.
Yeah. All right.
Carry on
So
first and check bag.
yeah. But how liberating has that been for you, by the way?
Stressful, actually. It's liberating in a sense of like I really enjoy forward motion. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not moving around and experiencing life, I feel stagnant. And so I had to move home in December because we had a bunch of family stuff. And I was home from December till April. And I was like, I'm going to lose it. I'm literally back in my childhood home. I'm not meeting people every day. I'm gonna lose it. Um, and my stuff is in pieces every day. In order to get something, I have to slide it out, remember which one it's in. You know, Chicago winter is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning a lot about like teaching myself boundaries while I am a digital nomad, which is really hard of like you can't sit in a house for 2 straight days. You got to go to a coffee shop. You can't spend money at like you know, you can't just be at a bar and drink at a bar, you know, every single night. Um, it's a lot of boundaries, and I'm an Aries through and through. I have fuck it mentality. I'm like, you only live once, who cares? So I'm trying to teach myself like the balance, and we are Aries are like all in or not. Like we're really like, let's go to the club till 7 a.m. So it's been really humbling, I would say is the first word I'll use because I hate being humbled. It's been very humbling to
Mm-hmm.
be in 2 suitcases and to ask for help like when I need help. And it's been very liberating to know that you get to curate your happiness because
Mm-hmm.
other people in my entire life have told me that they're doing it for me and I get to choose. And it's been very freeing to see the truths of the world, to go around and see the truths of the world instead of someone telling me or reading about it in a history book.
Mm. What makes you happy, Kingsley?
Oh, money. I've never seen anyone frown on a jet ski. Money, my love language is gift giving. Give me something. Give me a gift. My friends know that. I love gifts. And I love to throw a party. I love to throw a party. Got to throw a party. We got to celebrate something. We got to something. Yeah, I did my life coach, who I ended up doing her branding. She wrote this book,
Mm,
which changed my life. I've cried so many times writing in it. But we wrote in one of the little things that's like, what has helped you get through? And I'm realizing it's like creating. Creating makes me really happy. It doesn't matter the facet. I just need to be making something.
mm-hmm.
Leading. I love leading. So doing retreats and doing breath work and hosting events and hosting dinner parties and trying new places to eat. I also learned that I love planning and mapping. You got to have a plan and make a plan. So even if I'm not manifesting or like goal for this place, I will literally research a place and then let the universe know if it happens, it happens. I have all the details ready. So if it
Mm.
happens, and I'll get bored and I'll be like, what happens in the DR? Something, something, something. Now I'm hosting a retreat in the DR, right? It's like
Mhm,
I have to be forward motion. And my friends, my friendships, I'm really learning about like non-romantic relationships and how to
mm,
deeply connect with people. And that's what's keeping my soul alive.
mm. Shout out to those dimples you have, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, they're deep. They're very deep. Very, very deep.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have one
Retreats.
too.
Yeah, I got one. I got one that's obviously obvious, and then the other one is just like, hitting out. But no, not like you. You got yours.
They're very big.
You got yours. They're redesigning your cheeks every time you smile. So okay. So that stuff so retreats, right? That's something I'm playing into, by the way, with the retreat stuff. I'm looking forward to building that stuff up once I move off my perch right now because I'm building some baseline for my other business and stuff. The retreat, 'cause I like retreat. I like planning party, like I said. I like bringing people together. I'm a Pisces, so you were Aries. I'm a Pisces. I like bringing people together, man. I love connecting people because
Yeah.
it's the energy is awesome. I get to do that.
Yeah.
Mm. So what's your favorite place in the world right now that you've been to so far?
Oh gosh.
The one that you like, yeah, this one. I know what
I haven't
God was
found
doing when He created it.
I haven't found it yet.
You haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can tell you all the places I've been through and I liked, but none of them felt like that home sense yet. Not yet.
Mm.
I loved Vancouver, BC is very beautiful. I've loved Iceland. I can't believe how much of the world is still preserved. You know, even though
Mm.
the glaciers are melting, for the most part, it is a very untouched by humans, which is blows my mind, right? Because as soon as a human finds a place, we gotta dig into it. Yeah, I loved Milan. I enjoy shopping and fashion and culture, and I think that's amazing. But I haven't found it yet. I'm hoping, I mean, I'm going to DR in the fall, then I'm going back overseas, and I'm hoping to get to Africa. I want to say that that's going to be the place where I feel home. Or Brazil, one of the two places where I know a lot of Black people are.
Oh, we're gonna jump on that one right now. Because I haven't been
What
to
about
Africa
you?
yet.
Yeah, I
I
have,
have
haven't?
Yeah, I haven't been to Africa yet. And my goal is to get there actually. My I have a big dream is to get to Africa. And I was thinking about Tanzania because since Tanzanians speak a lot of English, I
Yeah,
was thinking
well,
about
I speak Swahili. I took it in college. I was
you
like so
did?
ready to go. See, I'm
I'm gonna have to
prepared.
learn that too.
I don't know
Yeah.
when I'm going, but I'm ready. I speak Swahili, so I'm ready. Just prepare yourself.
What?
Get
Yeah,
ready.
Africa is definitely on my list of places because I do well when it's hot outside. Yeah, I can. My brain
I'm
works. I can
unwell
think
today.
good. Yeah.
See my sweater. I don't own sweaters. I'm unwell.
Oh yeah. Is it even Portland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know the weather is Portland right now. It's like, yo, girl, what's up? You gotta put a sweater on right now. But yeah, Africa is definitely it. But a favorite place, well, I said some of the places that mentally I felt really good. And the first place that come to mind was I was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, for like an assignment when I was in the military. And for that whole year I was there, I just had such an amazing time in my head, in my body, and I felt so good about myself in that moment. But in Hawaii was one of my favorite places. I think I would end up living in Hawaii eventually because I just love Hawaii. It's just like Jamaica for me. It has the mountain and the ocean, and I love
Yeah.
the mountain and the ocean. I have that
I
piece
haven't
of it.
been there yet. That's been on my list. I just want to know someone there, so I'm not going to any tourist places to stay. I like want
Mm,
to go and stay and support a local. So that's on I'm shouting it out to the universe that I want to go there, but I want it to be with a local and not done
mm,
touristy at all.
yeah. I like the island of Maui, but even though the Oahu is pretty nice, Big Island is pretty nice too. But Maui was my favorite. I was like, yeah, I can live here because I like quiet and I can just probably disappear into some other area and just kind of enjoy it a bit. But I like being like it's funny. I love being alone, but I also love people.
Well, that's the Pisces in you. That's the Pisces.
What's the Aries in you?
I hate being alone. I'm learning that I need to recharge more. I used to be able to recharge around people.
Hmm.
They would really give me energy. Um, until I realized that I am the energy force, right? I used to think
Hmm.
they were, and now I'm realizing it's me expelling. I just had so much to give, I didn't realize it was me. So I'm like, I've been home by myself for 2 days in a row, which is really crazy because I had plans yesterday. And I was like, I'm not going to that. And everyone's like, Are you sick? Are you dead? What's happening? You're not going somewhere. Um, so I'm learning to be alone. I don't mind eating alone. That took me a long time. When I was a freshman in college, my roommate didn't show up and I didn't eat. I did not go out of my dorm room because I'm like, I'm not walking into this cafeteria alone. And I was on the track team. I could have texted any, I was like, I will refuse to let them know that I'm alone and I'm scared to be alone. I will just starve in my room tonight. Um, so I used to hate eating alone, and then you move abroad and you can't not sit anywhere and be alone. And I've
Hmm.
gotten comfortable with that. But I still won't go to the movies alone. That's still on my to-do list. I
Hmm.
won't do that. That feels
Hmm.
too sad. Yeah, because I like to talk during the movie. So who am I gonna
Oh,
talk?
we could never go to the movies then. Oh my
Oh,
God.
I'm like,
Elbows, girl. I'm telling you right now. No,
oh, I
no
have
talking
to.
in the movies,
I
man.
gotta, we gotta go through it together in a dialogue.
Oh man, if you want to talk, they should be in the movie. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Manifesting. Manifesting. So I can talk to
Yeah.
myself in the movie.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. That my role is there. It didn't tape me. I gotta come in and play it out right now. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't. I'm working on being alone. Like now I enjoy like running errands alone, but I love doing that with a friend too. I'm like, do you need to grocery shop? Come pick me up. Let's grocery shop together. I
Mm,
love that.
mm, mm,
I love that.
mm. You got siblings?
I do, yeah. I do. I have a lot
Where
of
you at? Up you
I'm
was early,
I'm the
behind,
third oldest. I have or yeah, I have seven siblings. I'm one of eight.
one of eight, and you the
Mhm.
oldest?
Third oldest.
Third oldest. Oh, I'm number four of nine.
See, family. That's why you like alone time. I couldn't get enough. I'm like, when you're mad at one sibling, you got six to choose from. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So many to choose from.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking back of my my little brothers. I remember, I was telling myself it doesn't matter how big they get and how much they talk shit, whatever, whatever, right? I still remember them. Them little fools just chase me around. Hey, we want to go to the river. We want to go to play with you. They want to. I always want like, hey, mom was like, don't take him out the house today. Well, we want to go to the river with you. So we take him to the river, go play. And I just remember them just jumping off in the water and all that stuff, playing with us, and we just taking care of them, making sure they don't drown and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I always see that when I think about them sometimes. Like I remember you little guys run around, chase me around all the time. When I go with Big Brother, where Big Brother go at. And it's always something about the sibling piece that you just it doesn't matter, like, hey, you growing up now, but it's still. I remember
I'm
when
so
I tried to take care of you,
grateful to see you
make
as
sure you was safe and alive.
Yeah, my little sister just graduated and I like cried looking at her because I'm like, I still see you as like your 6-year-old self. And I
Mm,
never got how my parents would say that. Like, I see you as this. And I'm like, I will look in your eyes and though you're this, to me, you're still that version. You're
mm,
preserved in that very curious mind, who
mm,
looked up to me for everything. Like, it's very, very cool. It's very weird
yeah.
being the older sibling because you're like part the parent too. You're like giving
Yes.
life lessons in real time as you're
Mm-hmm.
getting life lessons in real time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very
Mm.
interesting moment.
You got kids?
No, absolutely
Plan
not.
to?
Hell no. I changed diapers from eighth grade till senior year of high school. I did it. There's not a single diaper I want to change ever again in this lifetime. Yeah, absolutely not.
It's I have one kid, my daughter, she just graduated high school last month. No, this month actually. And I was thinking about my whole life. I was like, I didn't really want much kids. Like I didn't, like I was like I came from a big family. I'm like, I know how much problem it is, how much work it is. And I was like, yeah. But some days you're like, maybe I want one. But some days you're like, nah, I love my freedom.
Yeah, no. Anytime I do, I just go home with my sisters. Like one's 15 and one's 18. And if I ever forget, they'll probably text me in the next 20 minutes asking me for money in just a second. So we're good. We are so good here. Every time I think I want one, I'm like, oh yeah, I still have two that I'm raising. Still raising two more.
Still raising two more.
Two more to go.
Yeah. Okay, Kingsley. We almost time to wrap up, and I'm curious to know if there's anything else that you want to share with us that maybe I haven't had a chance to get to yet.
No, I hope people can connect with me. There's so many ways that we can vibe together, like through my music or doing branding stuff,
Hmm.
or breath work and meditation. Like there's so many facets of how I can meet
Where,
people. And
where where can they find your music now?
yeah, if you go to imkingsley.com, you'll find literally everything from there. It'll take you where you want to go in life. And
Mm,
yeah, I'm really thankful. I live a very, very, very dope life, and I hope that I get to meet more dope people while I do it.
mm. Kingsley, what is it? Kingsley.com?
I am Kingsley.com.
I am Kingsley.com.
Mhm.
Good place to find you. Okay. Let me ask you another question. What is the biggest takeaway you had from this conversation from sharing so much about you?
Well, we have a lot of similarities in life.
Hmm.
Yeah, which is always really cool when you never meet people like come from a big family, working to be digital nomad, escaping the matrix and deciding for yourself who you are and what you become. Also both Black. I think that that's cool.
It's funny. I don't get a lot of melanated folks on the podcast because I'm trying to find more people that want to show up. Because sometimes you invite people and they're like, a lot of folks just they're still nervous about just popping in and just talking. So eventually, I will get a lot more on the podcast too in the future. But you know, for the folks out there, melanated folks, stop saying no and come on to the show too
We'll
sometimes.
teach them to say yes. Hold their hand. Some people need more hand holding. They're not all
Mm,
bold and empowering. Some people
mm,
need you to set the table. It's like a spell, right? When we're talking spell work, you're supposed to set this framework, do the salt circle, right? Set the
mm,
space, and then do the work, right? And so some people need that for you. So if someone says no, say, what could I do to help you to say yes? I feel like this will be really good for you, but I want to make sure you're supported. And that might help people to say yes more.
mm, mm. I'll think about that.
I won't judge you. Whatever you do in life, I'm not going to judge you. Well, whatever. I had a great time. So if you're like, Dr.
Yeah,
Kingsley, I'll be like,
yeah,
let's do it. Here's what to do.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So another question: what is that one thing or two thing when people do it drive you crazy?
Oh gosh. Say one thing and do another. That drives me crazy. My last name is Lincoln. My mom used to say, you're a man of your word. All you have is your honor. Honest Abe. Right? That was his slogan. Honest Abe. That was our whole household. Lincoln Charm, Honest Abe. So when people say one thing and do another, like I don't enjoy love bombing in relationships. I think that's crazy. Like say one thing and undo it. Um,
Hmm.
and then probably my second pet peeve, I have a little OCD tendency. So like if I put something somewhere and you
Hmm.
move it and you don't put it back, we're beefing. We're fighting. We're fighting all day. I just helped my friend move and I said, if you put the tape and you put the Sharpie in the same spot when you finish taping a box, I won't have to ask you every 5 seconds, where's the tape? Where's the Sharpie? Just put it right back on the same spot. Tape the box, move it back over there. It drives me crazy. So a waste of 2 seconds. What if I only have 10 more seconds today? We just wasted two.
So what you just break down for me just now is your rules, your systems, your law, and people not abiding by your systems. And
They're
that
like,
is
this girl is crazy, actually. She's so crazy. A little bit. I'm a little crazy and a lot of fun.
all right. It's been a good chat. You got me laughing today, by the way. So I, I appreciate the chuckles, man. I appreciate the chuckles.
I'm happy. That's my goal. My
Mm,
goal.
okay. All right. Well, we're gonna shut down this live. We're gonna chat a few more minutes because we got like a few more minutes after this. We can chat a little bit offline. And then, folks, if you tuned in upon the Rose Awareness podcast today, you've heard from Kingsley. I am Kingsley.com, by the way. You heard from her, and she does a lot of things right now. And multi-talented, you can tell. And if you need to connect with her, like, oh my God, this is my girl. I'm gonna talk to her. I am Kingsley.com. That's where you find her at. And folks, yeah, enjoy listening. If you're just getting this last part of it, go back to the beginning and check it out. Any last word, Kingsley?
No, be good, do good. I can't wait to meet you all.
All right, folks. With that.